Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cabbage Patch Soap. My name is Laura, and today we are going to make the squirrel soap, and we will also be cutting the previous soap that we made, which was the fall leaves. I am just getting everything set up here, fixing my chats. Need to be able to see all you guys. I also need to get my gloves on, and I'm just clearing a spot here. I had my water set up to mix the lye and everything. I'm just getting it set aside. Let me just grab these gloves real fast. I hope everybody is having a good week. And this soap was a suggestion from our Monday live. So if there's soaps you guys want to see, be sure to let me know. You can either let me know during the live or leave a comment. And if I can, I will make the soap. I really enjoy making your guys' suggestions. So there's the oil. I'm just once again finishing setting up my chats real quick. All right, just a moment here. Okay. It looks like the chats are working now. Okay, excellent. And feel free to say hi in the chat. Don't need to be shy. I can't bite through the screen, so you should be safe. I think my camera is crooked and it's bothering me a little bit. Let me see if I can adjust this without messing anything up. Okay, so this is straight, and then hopefully nobody gets motion sickness. There we go. Okay, that's much better. That was bothering me. You guys probably don't care, but if I don't fix it, then I run the risk of later on doing something and having it be off screen, just enough off screen to where it's kind of annoying to look at. So, all right, and I've got all the colors here. I'm just moving this stuff because I have it sitting with the soap, the individual bar that we made, and I just want to move it so it's not in the way. Okay. A little bit of a chaotic start, but that's totally fine. Let me get the scale. I'll set the scale aside also. We don't need it yet. We'll use it when we measure out the lye. And I have a lot less space to work with at the moment because I've got some soap dough things set up here. Hi, Stacy. Welcome. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and open this up. Hi, Lorna. Welcome. All right. So here's the soap. It's still in the mold. And I'm just going to pull it out, hopefully. I'm going to be really careful. I don't want to damage the cute leaves that are sitting on top. Just a second here. Sorry, I'm double checking. I want to make sure these lines, I want to cut it this way so everybody gets a yellow and an orange leaf. Okay, just a second. I'm trying to get this out, and it's still soft enough to where it's catching the side a little bit. There we go. Let me go ahead and set this up. Okay, see how this is turned brown? I know we did mix in some brown mica, but it doesn't look the same as it did on Monday. Maybe it's my imagination. We'll see when we cut it. We'll be able to tell a little bit better. Oh, and let me grab a soap towel. Just a second here. All right. Okay. Got the soap towel. We'll set it here. And I'm just lining this up. I want to make sure I cut this as evenly as possible. I'm going to scoot it this way a tiny bit. There we go. That looks good. Okay, let's hope that I don't cut anything that I don't want to cut. Ah, perfect. Okay, so the individual leaves, the yellow and the orange ones, I missed perfectly, so that's good. So each bar now has, excuse me, has yellow and an orange leaf, and then they have a variety of these gold dusted leaves. And of course, I apologize. The camera doesn't like to focus, so I'm trying to get it to pick up. Anyways, there's some detail on the leaves. The larger ones were stamped. And then here's how the swirl looks. And yeah, see how it's a little bit darker on the edges and lighter in the center? That's from that vanillin, from the vanilla scent. And you can see the orange did make a little bit of a swirl in here. And it smells so good. Yeah, this is a really good fragrance. So there's that. And this is that Urban Winter that we use. There we go. You see that swirl again? And here's that side. Actually, that might be heat from the gel process. It may be that just the center gelled. Maybe that's why it looks like that. So I take that back. Maybe not. Maybe it didn't darken from the vanilla. Here's the side. That looks kind of neat. Kind of different orange pattern. And then the swirl on the side. Okay. And we'll check the end pieces. So even the end pieces have a little bit of a leaf on top there. And then here's how they look on the inside. And this is how it looks this way. Sometimes you get cool patterns putting different ends together. Anyways, this came out really nice. I really like the color. It's a nice shade of brown. And I think because we kind of unintentionally, but we mixed in some of that orange into the brown, I think it makes it match this orange a little bit better. I think it ties it together a little better, which is good ultimately. So, um, even though that wasn't intentional in the beginning, we ended up having to do it because it didn't come together fully. I'm kind of glad we did it because now I think that the colors kind of go together better. All right, the next thing I'm going to do here is put these soaps up on the shelf. So let me just pull the shelf out real quick. And it's been really, really cool outside. So of course that means it's going to be a little bit cooler inside the house. And I think that's affecting how well these soaps gel, which of course isn't a problem. Um, but that's probably if that dark edge is caused by only the center gelling, that would be why it happened, probably just the cooler weather. And also it's making my oils a little less fluid, I guess. So probably when we mix the light water in, I'm going to have to do an extra good job of blending them. All right, let me just clean this off real quick so I can put it back on the shelf. We'll put this away. Then I will show you what I made for this soap. Just a second here. Okay. Just going to put some of the tools back up here that I had set aside. Okay. So, oh, and also the individual bar. Let me show you how that looks. So here's the individual bar in here. Yeah, thank you, Stacy. I left it on the table so I wouldn't forget, but sometimes I'll just work around it like it's not even there. I don't see it, or I see it, but my brain doesn't register it. Okay, so here you can see you have the gold. Remember how we sprayed the gold on the inside first? I also sprinkled some on to see what effect that would give. It looks really neat, actually. So it looks like the gold where I sprinkled it, it it's inside the soap, so like the soap is flat and then it almost like indented the soap and it's in there. So it almost gives it a very shallow 3D effect. But anyways, you can see the metallic gold on the outside there, on the outside here, just a light amount. It's really pretty. And then we got the brown with the leaves on top. Kind of reminds me of when people cut out pie crust and they put the pie crusts, like they'll cut it out in leaves and put it around the top of the pie. It's like that. But it doesn't smell like that. It smells really good. It's very fresh. Very fresh. It's very cool and fresh and like clean type fragrance. So I like this one a lot. This is really pretty. I may end up getting this one again. There's a lot of them. I mean, really, most of the fragrances I try, I like them enough to use them again. But sometimes I don't feel like fighting with vanillin, with the vanilla, because like I said, it does turn the soaps brown. And if I'm not making a brown soap, like for the leaves, it was perfect because, you know, the leaves are going to be brown anyway. Excuse me. But if I don't feel like working around that, then I'm, you know, stuck with choosing soaps that don't have vanilla in them. Anyway, all right, so enough of that. All right, so here's what I came up with. I wanted to do squirrels and acorns. I did not have an acorn cookie cutter, or if I did, um, it wasn't in my, or I just didn't see it. But I don't think so because I went through everything. I didn't find it. I know I was looking at one, but sometimes when I'm getting the little tools, the little cutters and things, I have to choose because if I just bought all the cutters I wanted just because, oh, this one's cute or I could use this, you know, I could see how this would be really cute in a design, I would have thousands and thousands of them. And I just can't, I don't have anywhere to put that many. And I also can't afford to, you know, spend several $1,000s on little tiny plastic cutters. So, you know, and realistically, if I used a different cutter for every design and every bar of soap, I probably would have a year's worth of, you know, cutters and designs. So anyway, so I went ahead and stuck with the squirrel idea. But so let me show you. So these are the squirrels. They're super cute, and these will go inside the soap. And then on top, I've got these little yellow leaves that match the squirrels. And I think what I'll do is put 2 leaves on each bar, probably. That's my idea right now. We'll see. We'll see what happens when I go to actually make the soap. I'm just making sure that these aren't stuck to the paper. Okay. All right. But I decided I liked the idea of the acorns, and I wanted to still include them on the soap, but I didn't have a cutter. So what I did is I just went ahead and made them by hand with the soap dough. So this is what they look like, and I put little like crosshatch marks on the top, and yeah, these are just made out of the soap dough. So orange on the bottom, and then the brown for the top, and yeah. So I'm hoping that these will look cute when they're on the soap. And I'm also hoping that these are small enough that when I cut the bars that I don't cut through the acorns. And oh, you think it's cute, Stacey? Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'm never sure how these are going to turn out, you know. And oh, computer's doing something funny. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so what I got to be really careful. What I might do maybe is use like the individual bar slicer to cut these, but probably not because I want the bars to be even. So I don't know. It's going to be like a really close call either way. When I go to cut these, I kept making them smaller and smaller and was like, I'm going to be at this all day because I keep making minor adjustments. So those should go on top. And let me get this mold out here. And I'm going to mark the mold because I grabbed one that was unmarked by accident. So what I did last time was I just set this, whoopsie, and these roll. So I, I have to be careful so they don't escape. I'm going to put these in here like this to kind of keep them together. And these kind of do have a front and a back just because of how they're resting. Anyways, I'll stop playing with them, otherwise I'll be out of it. Okay. Thank you, Lorna. Yeah, I liked the acorn with the squirrel idea. All right, so here's the mold we'll use. I'm going to get a ruler real quick so we can mark it. just to make sure. I had everything over there already, and then I just spaced it and moved it out of the way. Thinking ahead, and then forgetting that I was thinking ahead. Okay. So all I do for this is I kind of don't care if these get marked up because usually it washes off. Sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, I just can use it for my next bar. So I know that I want these to be about an inch. Each bar is about an inch because, of course, we plane the soaps off. So even though these will be an inch wide, the mold itself is more than 3 inches wide slightly, and that's how we get those end pieces. So I'm just going to mark here, and then of course when I pour the soap, a lot of times it spills over the edge and covers these marks. So I move this down here and measure again, and this is, how I mark my molds. And then that way I'll be able to see the marks when now it's working. Silicone doesn't really stick to anything, even ink on a pen. Sometimes. Then other times it does stick really well and it won't wash out. So, oh well. So we're just going to have to make sure that when I lay the acorns down, I'm putting them on this side. So we'll probably be looking at the soap like this. Bars have an autumn theme. Yep. That is what I'm hoping to go for with this design. I don't want to make a complete copy of the last one because when I was thinking about what colors to put in the bar, I was pulling down all the same colors as the one with the leaves. But then we just have two bars with the same colors but in a different design. So, excuse me. I'm going to put my face shield on real quick. Yeah. So, I'm going to do something different. I think what we'll do for this one is we'll add some white. We'll have white as like the base. And then I'm going to use this color. It's called Savage Garden from Nurture Soap. It's a really nice deep green. It's like I don't know how to describe that. Like a wintry, maybe not quite wintry. It's a very deep, deep green. And I thought that would go well. We'll use the orange. This is the same orange that I used to make the acorns. So I want to bring that color into the soap. And then we'll use some brown oxide. This is just a brown oxide pigment. It's a pigment powder. It works really good. The nice thing about the oxides is that you only need a teeny tiny bit, and it's really a bold color. So, which color, Lorna? The green or the orange or the brown? I guess the brown too. The oxides tend to be kind of a flat color though, so I like to use them with other things like greens. Yeah, this color I really like this one. I look at it and I think, oh, I can do so many things. There's some colors I look at and I just start having all these great ideas of what I could use it for. But of course, when you add it to the soap, the color, like if it's like a two-tone color or whatever, it loses some of that. But this one's nice. It's a nice green in the soap. I really, really like it. And then of course, I have the gold duster for the top. I'm considering dusting it with gold and then putting the embeds in, maybe after we texture the top or something. I haven't decided yet. But I have it here just in case we decide to do that. And the fragrance I want to use is apple. And this is from Nurture Soap also. And this smells so good. This is just a really, really fresh, juicy, like a really fresh, juicy, like true apple scent. It smells really, really good. And it's a nice clean smell. So, but it does smell just like apple. It's really nice. Let me get a couple other containers for mixing the colors. I don't want to go too overboard. Trying to decide how I want to do it. What order we would mix these in, because I'd have to mix some of them by hand probably. Let's use the glass containers, I guess. And maybe we can do like a chopstick swirl for the top. I was thinking a fork like doing the lines with the fork, but I think that that would be, you know, the fork tends to leave very exact lines, and I think since this is more naturey, that we would want more uh, natural looking lines, less precise. So okay, here's this, and my other whisk. Go grab that. I've been debating about how exactly to do this design since I chose the colors, but pretty much all day I've been going back and forth about how exactly I want to do it. So sometimes sometimes when I feel like I have too many options, it can kind of slow down my decisions. And this is one of those times where I think, because excuse me, with the squirrels and all that. I mean, there were so many ways to do this design. I was having trouble coming up, or to like not coming up, but the opposite. I was coming up with too many ideas. I was having trouble um, just deciding on one. So anyhow, that's why everything wasn't ready right away. I was kind of debating up until the last moments. Okay, anyway, so first thing I want to do is we'll blend up these oils. They're still, as you can see, very solid. The olive oil is moving really slow. You've been there, Stacey. Yeah, I know. I love having decisions. I mean, decisions. What am I saying? I love having options. I love having options, but sometimes when you have so many good options, it's like, I don't know. I know that there's no real like wrong decision, but I think my fear comes from, oh, what if this would have looked better, or what if I'm gonna regret it and wish I had done it that way, and that's kind of what I do to myself. I don't know why, but it doesn't help. Doesn't help me any. That's for sure. Yeah, these oils are really cold. May have to start partially melting them if we want to continue. If we want to continue doing this heat transfer method. Although honestly, I think, like I always say, if I just did the heat transfer method without bothering to blend this, it would work just fine. Okay, so we got some sludgy, chunky oil here, which I know is not the best way to describe it, but it's very thick and creamy, with pieces of unmelted oil in here. There's some of the oil up in the blades I was trying to get out of there. I think it worked. Yep, that worked. Okay. Trying not to overwork the motor also. Okay, that's good enough. I don't know if you can see, this is like a very thick, almost frosting. A very runny frosting, but it's getting there. It's almost holding its shape. It's so thick. Okay. All right. So here's the plan. I will add the light water to this. We'll blend it up. I'll probably add. I know this fragrance doesn't like accelerate or anything. But I think I'll wait to add it until we mix in the color. So we'll start with the white and pour that in, and then mix the colors and the fragrance and everything, and then pour that in. And then I think what we'll do is go ahead and use the swirl tool to do like a swirl. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And I need to be careful where I set this down because I don't want to set it on top of the acorns and squirrels and stuff. So, and if I'm remembering correctly, I think Barb was the one who suggested this design. So, how to get a sip there. Sorry. Okay, where were we? Right, light water. And I had moved the scale. Here it is. Okay. And then, like I always do, I harp on about lye safety every time you see me use lye. Make sure you've got gloves on, and make sure you've got eye protection of some kind at the minimum, or even a full face shield if you can, and closed-toed shoes. Everything else is debatable. If you want, a lot of people really like strongly suggest long sleeves. I'm not wearing long sleeves, but that's because I'm more worried about the lye getting on my sleeves and then being stuck against my skin and then having to like undress to rinse myself off. I have had like lye, like small amounts of lye splash on my skin before, and I was able to wash it off right away. And I found that, well, I'd rather that than have it stuck on my skin or in my clothes. But that's my personal decision. So you have to decide what's the safest and best for you. Everybody's different. And some people wear like plastic or rubber gloves or whatever that go all the way up to like their elbows or shoulders. So it just depends. What your comfort level is and what you think is best for you. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and add the lye now. I'm going to measure this. Oh, and it does produce fumes. That's something else too, that you want to use this in a well ventilated area. There we go. Perfect. You want to use it in a well ventilated area, an open room. Some people will actually mix this outside. If you want to avoid the fumes, you can mix the lye into ice. Anything that's frozen water, frozen fruit juice, frozen milk, frozen whatever. And that will cut back on the fumes considerably. And then, like usual, see how it kind of turns that milky color? You can't see through it. My hand's under there. You can't really see it. And we'll let it sit, and within like a minute or two, it'll clear up. And then we can use it. Let me just set the scale aside. And then also, like I mentioned before, I like to set this on top of some kind of something, like one of these towels, to kind of protect whatever surface it's sitting on. And while we're waiting here, just checking with my hand, see. Yeah, still can't see through it. This does get very hot, so be careful. It will burn you. Like burn you as in like from the heat it can burn you, and also from the chemical it can burn you. I have already dissolved in here. I have some sea salt and sugar, and I do that. I dissolve it so that it's not scratchy on the skin when you use soap. Although some people do like it like left in unmelted for exfoliation, but unless I do something special, and specifically do that, I melt it. Like unless I'm making a salt bar. And for the container, you need to either use a lye safe container. You can tell by like the recycle number on the bottom. Usually it will tell you, or glass. But the problem with glass is it can break. I have had glass break before. It's not very common. You can also use stainless steel. That's also an option. Stainless steel is probably the best because it won't break, but I don't have one, so I don't use it. I'm also always worried that it'll say stainless steel and then not actually be stainless steel. And certain metals, like aluminum and stuff, you can actually cause the lye mixing with that will cause like a gas that's not safe to breathe. So rather than risk it, I just use plastic. Plus, these are cheap. I mean, these are way cheaper than a metal bowl. Okay, looks like it's clearing up. Of course, not because the towel is there. Yeah, see, you can see my hand through there. Okay, so this looks good. Let's go ahead and pour it in here before it cools off too much. It will start to cool off rapidly. I have noticed it's kind of like hot water. So once it gets to a certain point, it starts to cool off, and then fascinating info. Get on with it. Okay. I'm just gonna mix this a little bit. Now see how this is melting right away? And the parts where we blended, they're already melted, but the little chunks are taking a little bit of time. That's fine, we'll just blend them. And I'm using the stick blender to kind of scrape the sides down because there's a little bit of oil that's like not melted that's sitting against the side. Trying to escape its inevitable fate. Okay. Here we go. There's still some stuck here. Okay. This is rather cool. The oil that is kind of getting stuck to the side as I do this is starting to like stick to the side rather than dripping down like it normally would. And all that is just fine. It's not gonna matter. All right. Trying to see if there's any. Oh, there's little pieces in there. Still a little bit of unmelted. Some of those unmelted oils might be what was stuck to the stick blender. Yeah, it looks like everything up there is melted now, so that's good. Just checking. And because I don't want to repeat of last time, I'm gonna make sure I mix this really well. And also checking to see if there's like separation on here. And it's really hard to tell because I use a white stick blender, but honestly, it looks like it's holding together really well. Yeah, it looks okay to me. And also, I'm going to be blending this more in a minute, so let's put it on this side. Okay, so let's put a little bit in each of these so that we can have our colors. And the reason I chose these colors was I wanted it to look like fall, like the trees turning to fall colors. Add a little bit more. This will be the green, I think. Let me see if I have enough for that. Actually, let's make that the orange. Actually, I think I have plenty of green. I'm doubting myself. Why do I do this? All right, this one needs a little bit more. Okay. All right, so everything else looks fine. We'll put brown in this one. This one has the least amount in it. And I don't want a whole lot of brown. I just wanted some to kind of tie the design together. I just got some, of course, not the camera, some raw soap batter on here. Because it's already mixed with the oil, it's not nearly as dangerous as it could be. I usually just wipe this off, and then I'll wash my hands later and make sure I got everything. But unless it starts to bother me, I just kind of ignore it. But again, that might be a reason to wear longer gloves for you or whatever. Yeah, okay, so here's the white. I'm going to shake it up because the white tends to, it's titanium dioxide, so it tends to like separate from the oil. And I like to mix it each time. This will help it mix into the soap better, and it, there we go. Anyways, helps it have a better, like the soap just kind of looks better afterwards. Mixes into the soap a little better. Titanium dioxide also tends to cause the batter to accelerate, so meaning it'll turn into soap faster as well. So having it mixed with some olive oil helps to kind of counteract that a little bit. But I don't want to overdo it because I don't want the oil seeping out of the soap, as we've seen happen before. And I always stick blend it because I find that it just benefits from that. Even though I've already dispersed it, it just seems to do better. Okay, that looks totally fine to me. I'm going to go ahead and mix in the fragrance. This will go, most of the fragrance will go in here. We'll save a little bit for the other colors. Back to mix my hand. Oh, that smells so good. This apple is really nice. It's not perfumey at all. It's just a nice, clean, crisp apple scent. Hi, Wanda. Welcome. Okay. Oh, yeah, and don't forget, you guys, to put your channel info down below if you have social media with your stuff, so that we can go and like all of your channels and social media. There we go. That way we can support each other. You can either do it here in the live or wait till the end and put it in the comments, either way. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to use it again in a minute. Let me just pour this into here. Oh, let me get those bubbles out. Let's just try that. Sorry for the noise. I'm going to put most of this in here. I know I need to save space for the other colors. Okay, so here's the other colors. Let's do the green. I think this is going to use up, yeah, this will use up the rest of the last of this green. So Wanda, I thought you should know, I went to the dollar store today and found some Halloween stuff. They had some cute things. And I know you already went there and bought all the good stuff, but I found a couple cute things, and I find that going to the dollar store, or any dollar store really, is a good way to find all these things you didn't know you needed. So I bought some flowers for an arrangement, some Halloween type flowers, and yep, some other fun stuff. So let's see. So how'd your video go? Did everything turn out good? We'll have to watch it when you post it. Okay, so this brown, I'm going to put very, very little because this tends to turn into, like it gets very dark very quickly. And what did I do with, there it is. Okay, so let me think how I want to do this. I guess, okay, I think what I'll do is I'll do the orange first, and then the brown, and then the green, and I'll switch out. I'll use the whisk for the green so I don't contaminate it with the other colors. All right, let me pour some of this fragrance oil into each of the colors. You guys can still see? Okay, good. Dink, 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 dink. Okay. All right, that's the last of that fragrance oil. Okay, so I'll start with the orange. Ooh, that's a little bit, that's close. That just barely fits in there. It's not quite, is it getting to the bottom? Kinda. Okay. Yeah, I might have to do a little bit of hand mixing after, but that gets it dissolved. That's what I wanted. Brown, though. I don't know about the brown. I always forget about this. I have some other small bowls where the stick blender makes it all the way to the bottom, and on these little cups it doesn't. I always forget that. So, oh well. It did what it needed it to do. I just needed that color to be fully dispersed, which it appears to be so. Let's leave that. And then we'll mix this green in by hand. Okay. That's a really nice green. I love this green. I think I need to buy a full-size version of it because every time I use it, I'm happy with it. It's updating now. Oh, uploading now. Great. I'll have to go see that as soon as it's done for sure. Okay, and then I'll mix this brown a little bit. Get all the stuff on the bottom that didn't get pulled up by the stick blender. Okay. And then onto the orange. Same thing, scraping the bottom. Okay, yeah, that worked perfect. Good. All right, let's see. How is this looking? Yeah, it's thickening. All right, so we're going to start with the green. And yeah, let's do it this side to side. We'll just pour it right on top. I don't know if we'll be able to get a good swirl since I really mixed that white. Let's do brown next. And then the orange, and then whatever white is left over. We should be able to pour that on top if we need to fill the space. I don't know. It looks like it might be okay. Yeah, the whites. That's fine. Okay, that looks good. All right, so, excuse me. Sorry if I keep clearing my throat. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll swirl this. Oh yeah, this is fine. It's totally fine. It looked worse than it was, so we'll just do a couple extra little swirls here. All right, and then tip out the extra soap. Okay. Okay, so I want to put a little bit of color on top of these. Actually, you know what? If this is supposed to be... Oh, you know what I forgot to do, guys? I forgot to put the squirrels in. No, I forgot the squirrels. I knew I was forgetting some. Okay, this is probably going to cause it to overflow. Luckily, squirrels are something that exist up in the trees, so I can still push these in. Oh gosh, that would have been terrible if I had just finished this off without remembering the squirrels. Okay, so let's put these in. I want them on the opposite side of the acorn. So the acorns, I said, were going back here, so the squirrels can go back here. And we will gently put them in. Here's the next set of squirrels. And I usually make more than I need to make sure it fills the mold, which looks like I did just that. So let me peel off. Well, actually, this should go on this side here because of how I cut that last squirrel. Sorry, guys. Let me move everything over. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, good, good, good. All right. Crisis averted. So we will gently push this down Now, since I might have to do this with my hands. Oh, no. Okay, there it goes. Well, maybe. Oh, no, it's trying to... Well, it did fit. Okay, there it goes. Now it's going fine again. All right. All right, don't know what that was, but we fixed it. Okay. All right, so I think it's fine. They're in there. Little squirrels up on the tops of the trees. Okay, and so I said I was going to do a toothpick or a chopstick swirl instead of the fork swirl idea. Fork swirl. Losing my mind to tell you. I'm trying to get these darker colors in. All right. Okay, I'm going to give this a second because I don't want these jars to dry up. Let me pour this in here. Let's start with... Oh, you know what we can do? We'll put it all in one. And then, yeah, let's do it that way. That way we can have something like a swirl. So you can't see what I'm doing, I don't think. Let me get this in here. So here's the mold. Here is the leftover white. We're going to scrape all the green into it because I don't think we're going to need it for the rest of the design. All right, and then we'll do the brown. Though I probably should have, well, I guess it wouldn't matter. I was thinking we should have started with the orange so that this didn't mix in with it, but I don't think that would matter because then the orange would mix with the brown or the green. So when you have two colors like that, like the orange and the green, where they mix together and they look muddy, sometimes it's better just to switch out spatulas. But this is for the individual bar, which doesn't matter. So okay. All right, so we're going to put it in here, in this one, and I'm just going to scrape off as much as I can, get this off the sides, and put it near the pour spout, so hopefully it'll get picked up on its way out, and just fill this mold. Hopefully we'll get a good size bar. Oh, yeah, those colors are pretty cool together. Very autumnal, I suppose. Get this out. There we go. There. Okay, so fortunately, we managed to get that in there while the soap was still loose enough to fit. And now you can kind of see the colors a little bit better, how they'll probably look inside the mold. So I think for this one, since I probably won't have extras, I'm going to go ahead and just, extra soap dough things. I'm going to kind of dust from one side here. Just kind of give it like a little, I don't know, like that. I feel like there should be some there. There we go. I'm gonna fuss with it and waste my time. Okay, that's the extra bar. I should not be spending that much time on it. Okay, so that's that's taken care of. So now we can get back to this, if it's in frame. I'll get this out of the way. Okay. All right, so here's the leaves. Oh, and you know what else too? Well, yeah, I better do it now. There's one squirrel left. I need to probably clean up this a little bit because I don't want it hanging over when I cut the soaps. So I'm going to kind of scrape it off into here. And see what I mean about like the soap kind of coming straight to the end of those lines. That's why I drew them all the way down to make sure I'd be able to see them. Okay. All right, that looks a lot better. I'm sure that's more satisfying than leaving it the way it was. For those of us who like the more satisfying videos. No, I'm making it worse. I spoke too soon. Well, okay. I'm going to stop messing with that. We'll use the gloves instead. Ha. Okay, that's better. Did you see what I'm saying? So the squirrels are made out of soap. Yes. Yes, the squirrels, these are soap dough that I rolled out and I cut out the squirrels and then I lined them up. And these are the leaves. I did the same way. And these acorns are also done the same way with soap dough. But these ones I made 3D, so they're actually hand rolled and everything. They're individually handmade. They're all different. Um, you like the green Wanda? Yeah, Lorna said she liked it too. It's a really pretty green. It's cute. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay, we'll see if we can get this to. All right. So what I have to do is I have to fit these little acorns in between these little lines in a way that when I cut the soap on, I guess it's going to be Monday, to where like when the wires come down, that it won't cut them. So I'm trying to be really careful because I don't want them to get cut, but I don't know if I can avoid. I think some of these, because these are about an inch wide, and I think some of these were made a little bit wider than 1 inch unintentionally. Also, what I'll do is try to stagger these a little bit above or below so that they don't touch each other. Okay, so that looks okay. Just try to center it. And then here's the last one. Okay. All right, so those are in. Oh, you forgot about the little sprayer. Yeah, they should still have them. I haven't looked in a while because I mean I bought a whole bunch a while ago. I bought some and then I bought some more because I liked them and yeah, but I haven't gone back since and I haven't needed to. So I don't know. I'm sure they have them. So originally my thought was to put like the leaves like this, but I don't think that's gonna like. There's no way to do that without cutting the leaves. So what I want to do now is kind of lay them down like in a line like this. I think having them like stem first would be better. And I think what I'll do is kind of where's that little chopstick? Here we go. I'm gonna clean off the soap batter. Kind of have one face this way a little, and one face the other way. I could even turn them upside down. There's no like reason for them to be one way or another. And I'm gonna push this down into the soap. Okay. And then the next one, let's see here. So yeah, I can either do it like this or like this. Kind of like it that way. And have it like one face this way, one face that way. So it's more like the leaves are falling unless like they're lined up all perfect. But I also have to be very conscious that these wires are going to come down. And I don't want to accidentally cut them if I can avoid it. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but if I can avoid it, I will. So like that, see? And then with the next one, and we'll make this one face the opposite way. And hope that I can get it in a spot where it's not going to get cut. And also the squirrels are under here, So I have to be careful when I put these leaves on, because it may actually touch the top of the squirrels, which isn't a problem, but I also don't want to accidentally like push the squirrels and make them super crooked. It smells really good. I keep smelling it, wondering what's that? Oh yeah, it's a soap. Whenever I do like this kind of like focused detail work, a lot of times I forget that I'm working with soap, and yeah, so I'll have moments of really strange forgetfulness like that. Like that one. Let's see. Kind of like this one better. Okay, let's put this one this way. And it's not going to matter because, like I said, they're going to be cut like this. But okay, okay, I'm just checking. Yeah, it looks like it's plenty out of the way. Okay, here's that one. And the last one. I know this is going slow. I'm trying to hurry up. I want to pick the most perfect ones. Oh, we could put some of these in that individual bar too. That would be cute. Okay. Okay, so that looks like that. Okay, so there's this one. I think it's probably better without the gold on it. I think the gold would kind of compete with the design a little bit. But that's how that looks. But we can put these leftover pieces in here. So here's a squirrel. We'll put him up here. And we could put the little leaves like this. Like one here and one there. Like that. And we'll push him down into the soap so that he doesn't... Whoops, I pushed that in a little bit too far. But anyways. So that's how the individual bar looks. And we'll let that set. And then this is the main bar. Can I put the extra squirrel on top of the little bar? Yes, Stacey, I can. Sorry. Oh yeah, Wanda, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was apple scent. It smells so good. It's a really fresh, juicy apple scent. It's not perfumey, and it's not like overpoweringly strong. It just smells like juicy, crisp apple. It smells really, really good. How long does it take to set up? It depends. If I can get this warm, which I'm not going to, I'm just going to cover it. But I mean, for this recipe, I usually let it go at least 24 hours. It'll set up faster than that, but it's soft, and so it's kind of hard to get it out of the mold without damaging it if you wait less than 24 hours. But you can do it. I mean, if you're careful, you can get it out sooner than that. Every recipe is different. So this recipe has a lot of soft oils in it. It has like castor oil in it. It has olive oil in it. And it has a large amount, like percentage compared to the hard oils. There's a lot of olive oil in here. So it takes a little bit longer to set up, but I do it that way on purpose because if I put more hard oils, like more coconut oil or palm oil or whatever, then if I was to do that, then it would set up really fast while I was mixing the colors and stuff. It would just move too quickly for me to really do any design. So I have made soaps like that before where they're mostly hard oils, and I have been able to get good designs out of them. It's just a little bit more stressful, and since I'm having to be conscious of like where I'm filming and what I'm doing, and making sure I'm not like down here doing the design because I'm out of frame or whatever, my mind is kind of on a million things at once. So if I don't have to worry about how fast this is setting up, then it gives me one less like thing to worry about. So that's why I do it this way. So yeah, I've had, if I make like my coconut oil soap where it's just coconut oil, that sets up in about an hour or two. I can usually cut it like it's almost hard as a rock in 3 hours, like almost uncuttable in 3 hours. So, but this one takes about 24 hours to be firm enough to really like pull out of the mold and cut and do all that. Then other soaps like olive oil, like if you do 100% olive oil and nothing else, it just depends, but that can sometimes take longer. The first time I made a full olive oil soap, it took 48 hours before I could have molded it. Sometimes it goes faster. It just depends. Let me see here. Yeah, you can see it's already like as far as setting up, you can see it's already firm. Like it's not moving now. So it's like this is like a very, very, very thick pudding consistency. So it's not moving anymore. Like custard maybe, or I don't know. It's very, very firm, but it's not cuttable. I couldn't pull it out of the mold. It's still too liquid. Let me take the face shield off real quick. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, so it moves. It does move. It does move quick, but not as quick as if it was all hard oils. And this is also very firm. The little oval molds though, they tend to not solidify as quickly as this one does. I think because this creates more heat because there's more of it. This will create heat as it turns into soap, like as it solidifies. But because there's a lot more in here, it just seems like there's the heat builds and it lasts longer, whereas in this oval mold it cools off more quickly, and so these tend to take longer to set up. That's why sometimes I can pull. There was, I think, a couple of soaps made where I was able to pull this out of the mold and cut it, and the oval mold wasn't ready to be pulled out yet. It just needed a little bit longer time, so I gave it a couple more days and then pulled it out. I mean, I could pull it out, but it was just so soft that it was getting dented and stuff, and I didn't want to wreck it. So, and then the soap dough. So like the leaves, the squirrels, the acorns, those are already set up. Those are already soap. You could, if I didn't just stick them in batter, you could literally take it to the sink and wash with them. They're already soap. But the reason um, the reason I use them is because it's sort of like Play-Doh, so you can make them into these cute little shapes, and then as the soap cures, so after it's been cut into bars, it starts to dry out and lose the water, the moisture that's in it. The water starts to evaporate. It'll also evaporate out of the soap dough pieces, and you want that because it'll help the soap last longer. You see a happy face in the oval. Oh yeah, got the little smile right there. Yeah, Wanda, right. It's same with resin. Right, exactly. Sometimes you go to pull it out of the mold and it's not quite ready. I can see it down here too. I think that what you see on your screen is different from what I see there. Now I can really see the smiley face. But I can see, but I have the light looks different on my end than on your end too. So that is what this is a soap we'll be cutting on Monday. And if you guys have any ideas for the next soap design, definitely let me know because I want to try out your ideas. If I'm able to, if I have the stuff and everything, then I can make it. Um, let me see what you guys are saying. Hopefully Barb sees this. I think she was the one who suggested it. So I'm hoping she gets to see the replay later. And now the whole house is going to smell like apples for a while. I think I'm going to maybe make. I might be able to make one more holiday soap. I think if I make one on Monday, it might be ready in time for holidays. But otherwise, any kind of like wintry theme soaps, or I could even start. I don't know. I was saying I could even start Valentine soaps, but I think we need to wait another month or so for that. Oh yeah, hummingbirds. That's right. Yes, I don't think I have a hummingbird cutter. I don't believe. I should go back and double check. I think my concern when I was looking at hummingbird cutouts was that the beak is really long and narrow. And if you cut that out with soap, there's a very good chance that you'll lose most of the beak. That's what happened with some of the dinosaurs. I have a bunch of different dinosaur cutouts, and some of them that they have really long, narrow tails, and the tails kept breaking off. So I think the same thing would happen with the hummingbird probably. So I might have to come up with like a creative solution for that, like maybe make the whole thing out of a solid chunk of soap dough or something. But I'd have to think on that one and see if I can figure out how to make it work. Snowman, yep, ornaments, those would both work. Where did I put that pen? I put it away again, didn't I? I think I did. I'll pull it out. But yeah, snowmen, we could do that. I could make little oh, you know what I could do? I could actually, well, yeah, I could still do it. They'd get cut, but I'd have to do it, put them on the lines. But anyways, I could make like round, like actual snowmen and put them inside the molds. When you cut it, you could see on the side, you'd see the snowman. Or I could do logs. Logs might be better because then they would go all the way through the soap. And ornaments would be pretty. I could do different colors. A cross would be beautiful. I do have a cross mold. I keep meaning to do it on Easter, and then I always remember like a week before Easter, and then I'm kicking myself because I space out. I'm always like, oh, I think I have a really cool design for Easter, and then I don't remember what it was until a week before. But yeah, I do have a really pretty cross that I've been wanting to use for like 2 years now. Maybe I should just make it and then just not care that it's not the right holiday. Just be like, here's a random soap with a cross in it, just so I can get to use the stupid mold. It's a really cool column mold too. It's like a long, narrow. It's kind of like the one that Stacy got me, the round cylinder mold, but this one instead, it's like it's smaller and it's like a really long strip and it's got a cross inside. Yeah, a cross can be anytime. I like to make it something. I guess I could. I think because I know it's going to be hard. See, my fear is that the cross is going to be really hard to keep it straight in the soap. It's going to end up I'm afraid it's going to end up tilting. So for that much anxiety, I want to save it for something special. But yeah, I could do it anytime. That's true. I feel like I should, just so like I said, I could just actually get to use the mold that I've been wanting to use forever and ever. But it's a really pretty cross too. It's not just a plain one, which I guess a plain one would be more accurate. But who wants plain when you can have fancy? I bought a mold. I'm going to get rid of it though, but it's a mold. It's like a tray mold, and it makes little tiny. I think it was meant for chocolate. It makes little tiny crosses, so you could pour the soap in it and have little tiny crosses. The problem is they're too big for my mold, so when you cut the bars, the crosses get cut, no matter how I put the crosses on there. So it's like, well, that's pointless. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use my other one instead. The cross could glow. This is very true. Any excuse to get glow in the dark into the soap, right? I mean, that's the goal here. Yeah, I could put the cross standing up in it. They just would break. In like I couldn't ship it. I'd have to sell those in person because they would break off. I could put the cross like laying down on top of the oval mold. That could work. But they're just I don't know. If you saw the mold, even getting the soap out of the mold, I'd have to freeze it to get the soap out without breaking the crosses and just it was a good idea. It was like one of those things I saw and I was like, I have so many good ideas for this. I bought it and then when I looked at it, I was like, I can only use this on like my oval molds, or I could like attach them to like if I cut the soap, I could take the soap crosses and like glue them to the outside, with soap dough or water or whatever, glue them to the outside of the bars. But the whole point of me getting them was for them to be like embedded in the soap. So I realized I was trying to find a way to make this thing work with my soap, even though it just wasn't going to really work unless I wanted to do like 100 extra steps. So that's why I like my other cross mold better. Let me see what you're saying here. Oh, I see. You mean the round? I see what you're saying, like the cylinder, the long like cylinder one, and like standing it up. Um, yeah, I could do that with. Yeah, that's sure. I see what you're saying now. Okay, I'm sorry. I clearly misunderstood what you meant. Yeah, I could do that with the cross mold, the cylinder type one. That I could make the soap in that, take the cross out, put it in the cylinder, and fill it up. I could do that. Totally do that. The other mold though, the one where it has like the little tiny individual crosses. I'll show you. 1 second. Okay, so they look like this. See? So hold on, it's got dust on the corner. Okay, so you see how these are like the little crosses, but if you see here, it's like too big. I need to be able to put three in a row, and if no matter how I do it, they're going to get cut. And it's so shallow. Like, look how narrow this is. The soaps, when I go to pop them out, are going to break. So I'd have to put them in the freezer to get them out. And I'd probably have to make all of these to get a handful that were even usable, even out of the freezer. So yeah, I could set them I could set it on top of this. I could probably get one to fit on top of that. That might work. But they're so shallow that making a whole bunch of them and then like standing them up in the soap, that won't work. So that's why I got the other mold, the other cross mold. I bet there's one person who I know could make use of this, probably is Shauna from Nazumi Soaps. I know she likes to make little embeds like this and stick them on the outside of her soap. Maybe I'll see if she wants it, because I mean it's a good mold. I've never actually used it because um because I couldn't figure out a way to put it in my soaps without frustrating myself. Um, so anyways, maybe I'll see if she wants it. Um, but yeah, I wanted to use this really bad and just never got a chance. So the other one, the long mold, is, I was going to take it out and show it to you guys, but I think I have it put away. Oh, I think I see it. Let me see what you're saying here. Yeah, I need that to make silicone inlays. I know, right? There's an idea. But again, it's another project that, like, will I ever actually do it is the thing. Sometimes I get really good ideas, and then when I realize how long it's going to take to do, I just don't have the. I would do it, but I don't have the time. Um, I still have some of that silicone, like, stuff to make molds with, and I was gonna make something really specific with it a while ago, and I didn't get the chance to yet. Okay, is this? No, that's the cylinder mold. Okay, so my cross mold must be with my other mold, so I'll have to go pull it out later to show you guys, but because it's way up high on a shelf and I don't want to go climbing up there right now. But um it's sort of, it's just a cylinder, like, silicone type mold, but it's a cross instead of a circle. Oh yeah, I see it. It's right up there. It's way up on the very top shelf with something. I'll get it down later and show you guys. Maybe we can do that on Monday. But I like your guys' ideas of the snowman and the ornaments. Let me see here. Yeah, Wanda, you can make some silicone inlays for sure. I have a lot of molds that either I never used or I used once or twice and just realized it wasn't going to work for what I do with my soaps, and I need to find them all some homes. Maybe I can find out which of you guys wants to use. Some of them are silicone and some of them are this like chocolate plastic, like for making chocolates. Maybe I could just do like a big giveaway or something. And I still have that hand, like that soap cutter, one that you use to cut the soap by hand. I still have that I need to find a home for. So anyway, so yeah, let me set this aside. I will see what I've got. I'll go through the molds that I was gonna rehome and see what you guys want out of it. Maybe I'll show you guys on Monday and have you guys pick what you want out of it, because I'm just gonna end up donating them otherwise. But I'll go ahead. I gotta cover up these soaps so that they can start to set up or to finish whatever, being soap. And I'll see you guys on Monday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you're new here, welcome, and please consider hitting the like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I am trying to get to 500 subscribers so that we can open up the community tab. So I hope to see you guys all soon. Don't forget to leave your own channel and social media info down below so that we can find you and like your stuff. And I will see you all soon. Have a great night, everyone.